Don't you just hate it when your bosses don't catch you watching XXX rated videos at work, ultimately allowing you to continue watching it? Well, apparently ex-South Yorkshire Police Constable Steve Connor took his dismissal from the force to a tribunal, arguing that South Yorkshire Police should have caught him doing it earlier. I kid you not, this is a genuine unfair dismissal argument. Connor was said to have watched porn over a 2-year period whilst at work or at home, using his police-issue laptop. Upon investigation of Connor's browsing history and habits, it was determined that he had watched XXX rated material on 299 days in a 316-day period, and that one site he visited had received 35,000 hits from his device. However, upon dismissal for being a dirty little piggy, he argued that he had been unfairly treated because the police should have been better at monitoring his internet use and therefore stopped him sooner. An employment tribunal held in Sheffield dismissed his claim, citing the case of Tory MP Neil Parish as an example of why firing him was the right decision. The police had to consider what the public would think if they were aware that an employee had viewed pornographic websites on 299 days out of 316 and remained in the respondent's employment following a disciplinary process. One only has to consider the recent furore caused by a Conservative MP for viewing pornography in the House of Commons on a limited number of occasions to imagine what the public might think of that. Now, what's interesting to note is that Connor joined South Yorkshire Police as an IT worker in 2002, which you would think would have given him the knowledge that checking out rudies on your police-issued laptop was going to get you caught. In February 2019, an internal internet monitoring system alerted police that someone had been searching for the words sexy and porn using a police-issued device. When confronted about this at his desk, he was found at that very moment to have had a rude website open in a tab on his computer. So he was suspended on full pay while the investigation continued, and until his misconduct hearing in May 2020. Of course, at the time, he said his actions were the result of the turmoil and deepening depression that he was fighting at the time, and that the frustration he had felt for some considerable time had overwhelmed him. Connor was dismissed without notice following a disciplinary hearing, and his subsequent appeal was rejected. So he took the police to employment tribunal claiming unfair dismissal and disability discrimination. He claimed the force had not taken into account his suffering from depression and other physical ailments. He also argued the police should have caught him earlier and therefore brought a stop to his behaviour. However, all his claims were rejected. The tribunal concluded that it is abundantly clear that Mr. Connor accessed pornographic websites on a persistent basis over an extended period of time. His access to pornographic websites was routine and on a virtual daily basis, committed whilst both at his place of work and at home on work-issued devices. Dismissal without notice was appropriate and necessary to maintain public confidence. Mr. Connor has tried to argue that the police should have monitored internet use more closely. If it had done so, he argues the police would have identified the pattern of behaviour he displayed over such a lengthy period much earlier. That is a further attempt to blame the police for his own persistent misconduct. The fact that the monitoring could have been more effective neither excuses Mr. Connor's behaviour nor makes his dismissal unfair. Imagine that. I know cops can be some of the most stupidest people on the face of this earth, but Jesus, watching porn on your police-issued laptop has to be up there with some of the best.